Today's Patreon shoutout goes to Z. Nahiri versus Varchild, Partner's Gut and Agent of the Iron Throne, and Eutropia. One lander is no good, so I will mulligan. Okay, into a two-lander with some equipment is effectively ramp with our commander in this deck, so yeah, we can try this one, I think. And there's a commander's plate from our opponent. Obviously, our plates won't protect against each other. Don't think it particularly matters that we go really fast. So yeah, let's just get down a tap land here. The faster your opponents go, the more that they are going to get removal pointed at them. So we'll let all of our other opponents go first. Impulsive Pilferer from the background player and more equipment from Varchild. That is a Swiftfoot Boots. Alright, and we're just matching the Varchild at the moment. There's a Lightning Greaves for us. So yeah, I think we can get down the Glimmer Lens here. So I'll just crack that for a plateau. We're going to have to pray that we get into more lands here. Get down a for Mirrodin equipment. And this will be able to swing in once our commander's in play, and we'll be able to get some card advantage out of that, but we're going to need a lot more equipment in play before we can afford our commander at the moment. Nothing from the other two opponents, but we do see Varchild casting a Valakut Awakening, so not sure if it tells us how many cards they did with that. No, it doesn't. So hoping for a land off the top. We do not get Stoneforge Mystic, isn't terrible though. Yeah, we're going to have to just get some equipment down and hope we can cast our commander next turn. The Simian Sling is an equipment creature, so serves double duty here. Get down our commander's plate as well. And I'm not particularly interested in eating any removal or anything like that from our opponents. There is Eutropia coming down. And for the partner player, it is Gut. So they swung in with the Impulsive Pilferer, obviously sacrificed it, and now a 4-1 Menace swinging in towards the Varchild. And now we see a Cavern of Souls from Varchild. Don't think there's going to be too much counter magic by the looks of it, but can always be looking in the Simic player's direction for some of that. So as you would expect, Varchild into play, no doubt going to get the Swiftfoot Boots put onto it. And Varchild swings into the left against the Eutropia. The Simic players usually want to be worried about. So 3 damage dealt, obviously not blocking with the Eutropia. And getting some of the best looking tokens in the game. 3 survivor tokens. Alright, and we managed to make a land for the Cavern of Souls, so is there much point in getting down our commander here? Could set up with the Ardenn. The Ardenn and our commander is a core, so we do name core here. The Stoneforge Mystic is a core also. So yeah, I think we get down Ardenn. Might have to go for some ramp with the Stoneforge Mystic. All depends on what happens over the next few turn cycles ultimately. So Ardenn comes into play, and we can put the, how is this worded exactly? When the equipped creature and one other creature attacks, so the other creature doesn't have to be equipped. So in that case, we'll put the commander's plate. Oh, have I clicked the Ardenn wrong? God, I haven't played Ardenn in a long time, and it's really weird how you do it on Magic Online. I think I'm trying to equip things to the commander's plate at the moment. I don't think it's really going to matter unless we see some colours other than Boros being pointed at the Ardenn. Either way, we'll go into the right and try and draw a card here. So that triggers the Glimmer Lens, allowing us into an Astorr, and hopefully one step closer to a land. So yeah, I think what you do with Ardenn is you click on the creature that you're wanting to equip everything to, and then it will ask you to click all the equipment, and that'll throw them onto whatever creature you chose. So better to learn that mistake now than later on when it's actually relevant. Aqueous Form goes on to the Eutropia, so that can't be blocked and they will get a scry. A plus counter goes onto the commander as well, so they're going to set up Voltron with this, I would think. And following that up with a Sixth Sense, so when it deals damage, draw a card. And that will now be a 4-4 that can't be blocked. Can still be targeted at the moment though. And then a Keen Sense, so make that draw 2 cards upon combat damage. Wow, followed by another one of those effects. That is a Curiosity, and that is any damage. So I don't think it's likely to be relevant. There are combos with Curiosity, but it tends to be in Izzet decks. So yeah, 2 of them are combat damage, 1 of them is a straight up damage, but attacking back at the Varchild is 6 commander, and they'll draw 3 cards here. Gut playing out a Commander Sphere. And then we see a sack outlet in the Woe Strider, which will make a token they can swing in with next turn and turn it into a 4-1 menace most likely. Now the 4-1 swinging in towards us. And the 2-2 commander in at the right. And they decided to sacrifice the goat token. I thought they had to swing in with the goat token, but apparently not. So now it's a 4-1 menace going in at the left as well. We have no choice but to take the damage. In fact, none of us do. Dockside Extortionist, pretty good against us with all the equipment that we're wanting to get down. So with that mana, Commander's Plate being put onto the Varchild, now a 6-6 with protection from everything except red. And they hit us. So we're going to go south of 30 and get some survivor tokens. Then Emberwild Captain for our opponent. So I was looking at swinging in over here anyway, but now that they've got the Monarchy, I think I definitely am. Will everyone swinging at us because we're the Monarch is the question. It might be best to leave this player alone so that the other players will try and get the Monarchy away. Okay, goad all creatures you don't control. That is Disrupt Decorum. So we do have to attack with our creatures this turn, which is relevant. If we can get into a land here, Rugged Prairie is good. That means that we can go Stoneforge Mystic for the Animist, Sword of the Animist. And then we'll be able to cheat it into or onto a creature with the Ardenn and actually start ramping and trying to catch up on lands. So I think that's the plan here. So where are we? Stoneforge Mystic hits play successfully. Sword of the Animist, we tutor up. We do have means of making copies of equipment in the deck, so I need to remember that this is a legendary, unfortunately. But play out Sword of the Animist. Now then, Ardenn on the stack says choose a target permanent or player, so we'll go after the Ardenn because it's the most important thing to keep in play at the moment. And then it can be Sword of the Animist, Commander's Plate, and I suppose we can put the Glimmer Lens on there now as well if we're going to lose tokens anyway, then don't suppose that really matters. Do we care about the Simian Sling at this point? Being a creature, I don't think we do, so that can go on the Ardenn as well for a small buff, more likely to keep it alive. So yeah, I did have to select Ardenn first and then all this stuff afterwards. So now Ardenn is a 7-7 with protection from everything except Boros. And we do have to attack here. So straight down the middle. I'll trade off some survivor tokens with the player to the left. And then the rebel token can trade with the Woe Strider maybe. So 2 big creatures down the middle. Survivors at the left, and then we do get to draw a card and ramp, so let's put the card draw on the stack first and we'll get the land. I don't suppose I really mind drawing into a basic anyway, so it doesn't really matter what goes on the stack first there. Okay, draw into Ember Cleave, which could deal a nice fat chunk of damage. We can get down our commander, hopefully, if no one wipes the board. We're very susceptible to board wipes at the moment. We can hopefully get down our commander next turn with a Lightning Greaves. If we manage to make a land as well, we could go for Ember Cleave, maybe start threatening commander damage. It's noteworthy with Ardenn as well, it does target the player or permanent, so that means that we don't go Lightning Greaves as soon as our commander hits play. We attach the Lightning Greaves with the Ardenn, that will make all the difference. Anyway, more plus counter shenanigans, that is a Hydra's Growth onto the commander. So this now sitting at an 8-8, stands to be even bigger than that next turn. Doesn't have a means of hexproof, so could have counter magic backup. We are eating a nice chunk of commander damage from the Eutropia. I'm not sure where the... oh wow, the survivor token's going in at us as well. So not threatened by this player at all by the looks of it. Might as well block a survivor token with the Stoneforge Mystic, but we're taking a nice hit for 10. Playing right into the Varchild's hand here. But hopefully won't be able to goad us all that much after this. So drawing 3 cards again, thanks to the auras that are equipped there. Alright, now seeing a Kasmina's Transmutation, so another plus counter on Eutropia, and that is enchanting the Gut. Obviously better targets for that, but Pro Blue on the Ardenn, and Hexproof on the Varchild will keep it off this. Death Priest of Mirkul, +1/+1, so that's an Anthem effect, and... yeah, can make skeleton tokens with that. They're not doing too well on the mana themselves there. They do have a sack outlet for it, and the Gut, doesn't have any abilities. Can it attack though? Yeah, it's just a 1-1 and it does have to attack, so going in at the left to protect that. Everything going in against the Simic player. So they've got 10 damage on the menace creatures alone. So that's 14 damage. We're doing the aggro player's work for him, which is what Varchild obviously wants to get you to do. A humble defector now. And they do have a means of hexproof with the Swiftfoot boots. We're all tapped out, well, apart from the commander sphere. So I imagine that they're going for the Swiftfoot boots on there to draw. Only 2 cards in hand at the moment. And then handing the defector over to the middle player here. The Swiftfoot boot's still attached, but they have control of that, so they can re-equip it. Deciding not to re-equip the Varchild with the Swiftfoot boots, though. Alright, and yeah, we're being seen as quite a big threat here. I can somewhat understand it. I think I'm more worried about the Simic player, in all honesty, but yeah, we're going to get some more survivor tokens. Go down to 12, and 6 more commander damage from Varchild. I'm hoping that we don't see any more goad effects or anything like that. We've got a Monarch to go for yet. Okay, so hitting us and then going for, that was a Blasphemous Act I think I saw there, that flashed by really quickly. Obviously our Ardenn does not have protection from red there because we're in a Boros deck, so it did get hit by the Blasphemous Act. So that changes things somewhat here. We could set up with the Astorr. We didn't draw into a land, annoyingly. So we could make a land drop with Sword of the Animist onto the Simian Sling, which does survive the board wipe because it was equipped and did not count as a creature. So Sword of the Animist, really hurting on the mana. This game is the problem that we're running into. It'll just have to be, do we want Lightning Greaves or the Lion Sash? Screw it. There's every chance that we're not going to see our commander this game, so let's just go for it here, even though it's not going to have any protection whatsoever. So now we can swing in with an equipped creature, and we'll go down the right. This player's going to be attacking us anyway, so I'm not worried about them taking the monarchy away from us with the Swiftfoot boots. So exile the top card of our library, and that is an equipment, Ancestral Blade, so we can get that down. We will shuffle things around and get a land with the Sword of the Animist. So Sword of the Animist getting us a few lands further ahead than we would have been. We take the monarchy away from our opponent, and then make sure to cast without paying the mana cost. And this is Ancestral Blade. It comes down equipped to a creature, so it's ready to swing in next turn, and hopefully Nahiri will still be around for some more card advantage. And we've obviously got a blocker in the way there, so definitely can't do anything with these equipment. That's equip 2 and equip 3. So yeah, hopefully we can do a bit more next turn. Draw into a card with the Monarch. And okay, a Prismatic Vista, which is a pain land unfortunately, but only have to take damage to it once. If we can get into some of our lifelink stuff, that would be very much appreciated. Alright, a Cultivate from the Simic player, followed by Crewfix's Insight. Reveal the top 6 cards, 3 enchantments into your hand, the rest into the graveyard. So revealed to us there, there's a Hunter's Insight, Commune with the Gods, and a Biogenic Upgrade, so no enchantments there whatsoever. I think they had all their luck in the early game with those cantrip enchantments that they got a hold of. Gut, True Soul Zealot, back into play again. A Dwarven Mine into play for the mono-red player, making a dwarf token with that. And then it is a Frontier Warmonger. Whenever one or more creatures attack one or more of your opponents or planeswalkers they control, those creatures gain menace until end of turn. So encouraging us all to kill each other on Varchild's behalf. A Goblin Spy Master now. So we managed to hold Nahiri, thankfully. There is a land that we can play without taking damage, which I'm happy about. So I think I want to get down the Astorr here so that we can start cheating some of these equip costs. We can afford the Embercleave onto our commander after the commander's plate, so I think that's the thing to do here. Astorr can get us an equipment as well. Seeing the back of Sun Titan, so we're not likely to grab back the Ardenn, although we can shuffle with the Vista. Reaver Cleaver is the thing to grab, I think, while we're struggling so much on mana. So then it is an equip cost of 1, thanks to the Astorr. That goes on Nahiri. And now we actually can't hold up the Embercleave, can we? So, do we just get down the Lightning Greaves here? Might be playing into a board wipe, but yeah, Nahiri's going to exile stuff off the top that we can't cast as well. Whatever, get down the Lightning Greaves. Been meaning to get it down for a few turns anyway. So equip for 0, not for 1. That can go on the Astorr. And then I definitely want to take that in to the right. And then we'll just hold back some blockers. This Simian Sling can go into the left so that I can ramp. And I'm showing my opponents that I'm not being too aggressive there and that I'm concentrating on the Varchild. So hopefully they notice that. Although everyone seems to be worried about us and we are looking pretty good here, so it makes sense. Frontier Warmonger gives the Monkey Menace. We get to ramp a bit more with the Animist. We'll get a Mountain because we've got plenty of red in hand. And we've exiled a Lizard Blades. We can only cast these this turn. Darksteel Citadel we will lose out on. Alright, so the Dwarf token just going in the way of the Nahiri. Because obviously we can't get through without any kind of trample or anything. The Shadow Spear would be a really nice draw. Anyway, Lizard Blades is an equipment creature, of course, so once again, thanks to Nahiri, can play it without paying the mana cost. We're best putting Shroud onto the Nahiri as well, because someone might have a Chaos Warp or something like that. And we'll pass it at that and hope that we can survive another turn. I think the Reaver Cleaver needs combat damage to a player or Planeswalker, yes, so draw another card to the Monarchy at the end of the turn. That is SRAM, so yeah, really starting to see some good stuff here. Eutropia into play again, followed by Vow of Wildness, so that will just be +3/+3 and Trample. And bumps it up to a 6/6 with the plus counter, so yeah, Eutropia was swinging in at us previously and ignoring the background player here, so I don't know, do we need to get rid of the Simic player? Dangerous to leave Varchild in play, but if we can start getting rid of players, the most dangerous thing Varchild can do to us is goad us and stop us attacking, which we do need to do in this deck, but they've only got 2 cards in hand as well. Mono red not the best at drawing cards. I think we might have to get rid of Eutropia next turn. A Reckless Fireweaver is not something we want to see from the Jund player or the Rakdos player. And then seeing for the first time Agent of the Iron Throne. So yeah, this player's starting to become a threat to us now as well. We're not getting into any lifelink, unfortunately, for all the equipment we have. And we don't have a means of getting rid of this thing, unfortunately. This obviously came into play for each of us from the Goblin Spy Master, so yeah, really hoping that the Varchild can't goad us here. Because if we're going to be forced to attack, I'd rather be trying to get rid of this player, but yeah, combat's difficult at the moment. We'll have a lot of eyes on us, and not sure I can take out all the players in one fell swoop. Swiftfoot Boots being equipped to the Varchild. 2 mana held up with 2 cards in hand. Can't equip the Commander's Plate. So if they attack in at us, we can chump block with the Goblin token. I wouldn't have thought that they would do that though. No, going in towards the Rakdos player. It does gain Menace, so they'll have to double block if they want to block at all. So all the damage goes through, and the Rakdos player decides to take some tokens, which he will be very grateful for. Wants to convert those into 4/3 Menace creatures, of course. And we managed to keep hold of the Monarchy still. Alright, so see what we draw here. That's an Arcane Signet, a bit too late, unfortunately. So do we go for the SRAM? We don't have any means of evasion, really. Could make a bunch of mana by having Nahiri take care of the Simic player. Yeah, so let's go Prismatic Vista, and we'll shuffle with the Prismatic Vista. And then we can play ourselves a SRAM. Yeah, we're going to have to attack with all the creatures here, unfortunately. We can get down some creatures after we attack, so maybe equipping as many things as possible so that we can get as much card advantage as possible is the way to go here. Can't put the Lizard Blades on Nahiri thanks to the protection from colours, which is a bit of a nombo in the deck, but I added it knowingly. So maybe we go Commander's Plate onto the Astorr instead for 1 mana. Move the Lightning Greaves away so that we can target things with Nahiri. Equip costs do target. So then it is equip for 1 onto Nahiri, giving double strike. Then we definitely want Reaver Cleaver in play, and that will make our Nahiri a 6/5. And that draws us a card with the SRAM, which draws us into a Dispatch. So I was going to go Arcane Signet into the equip of the Reaver Cleaver, but might as well hold on to the dispatch now. So Reaver Cleaver definitely gives +1/+1. Yes, it does, and trample. So double strike and trample onto the Nahiri. And then equip Lightning Greaves for free onto something just to get more card advantage. We'll try and get rid of a Goblin token. Don't think there's much point in holding on to Dispatch. If we're not going to get the treasure tokens from the Reaver Cleaver, then we're going to lose anyway. So equip the Glimmer Lens onto, might as well just be our commander. I'm not going to swing in with Shram anyway. Alright, so now we go through to combat. Going to save my attack of Nahiri for last because I don't want the Simic player to scoop and totally screw up the combat phase. So the Astorr can go into the right. The Goblin token goes into the right as well because I don't care if I lose that. Don't really care if I lose the Soldier token either particularly. The Simian Sling can go, yeah, that can go in at the right as well. Just trying to show my opponents who I'm really concentrating on here. And then the last attack is Nahiri to the left. So a bunch of triggers go on the stack. We'll put Nahiri's on the stack first so that we can definitely get a land with Sword of the Animist. I think we've got enough basics left, but just in case we're really unlucky. Alright, so draw a card to the Glimmer Lens, because we are attacking with other creatures. The Frontier Warmonger gives our commander Menace, and Sword of the Animist has really kept us in this game, if we have been kept in it, which I'm not confident of just yet. Alright, drawing into a land with the Glimmer Lens. And with Nahiri we exile Hexgold Halberd, a Swiftfoot Boots, some lands, and Jorkadeen. Alright, so our opponent goes for the double block on the Nahiri, so we are going to get rid of their commander. And then the Simian Sling going down to the 4/4, and the 2/2 being chumped, or actually trading with the Goblin. So 1 damage dealt to the defending player by the Simian Sling. And we don't get treasure tokens from the first strike, but the second strike will get some tokens here, some treasures. So 1 damage to the Goblin, of course, and 5 to our opponent. So that knocks them down to 6 and 5 commander. And we'll make some more treasure tokens. Go through to our second main phase. And we'll see what we draw here. It is Swiftfoot Boots without paying the mana cost. Shram obviously cantripping us, gets us into a land. Then is the Halberd after that, again without paying the mana cost thanks to Nahiri. And Shram draws us into the Argentum armour, so these are the big equipment that we'd be wanting to reveal off the top. But not having the best of luck with that, unfortunately. The Hexgold comes in with a 2/2 token, so we are going to have some blockers here by the looks of it. Jorkadeen, do we want to lose out on a Jorkadeen? I think I'd rather just throw the tokens away, to be honest. No, Lion Sash isn't a token, is it? So we can go for the Blade Hold, but we want to hold up Dispatch as well, really. Let's get down the Jorkadeen, and then we can play the Lion Sash, and if we have to throw it under the bus, then so be it. We do want to, like I say, hold up the Dispatch for when we're desperate. Drew into another land, so yeah, drawing into those a bit too late, but it was only a matter of time, I suppose. Swiftfoot Boots onto our commander, or Lightning Greaves even, not the Swiftfoot Boots. Yeah, we're just holding up our single mana with Dispatch, so pass the turn eventually at that. We have another card to draw with the Monarch as well. Goblin Spymaster gives us another token to block the Varchild with, and we draw into Umezawa's Jitte. Get rid of a fetch, a plains, and an arcane signet. We do have a little bit of life gain with the Umezawa's Jitte, which we could make use of with double strike. A Thirst for Meaning means that our opponent is fishing for an answer. Draws 3 and discards an enchantment, most likely in this deck. Discarding a Curator's Ward. Now, Witness Protection. Going on to the SRAM. I don't know if I'm particularly bothered about that, has really done its work here. Does it change the colour of SRAM? It turns SRAM into a green and white citizen token, so that could be relevant with protection from colours. And then there is Ether Tunnel going on to Gut, so that is out of commission again. Thankfully remembered to put the Lightning Greaves on our commander, otherwise I'm sure we would have lost that. Wayfarer's Bauble for the Simic player, and cracking the Wayfarer's Bauble, showing that he doesn't have anything, so yeah, we could be at the mercy of the Rakdos player here. Plenty of means of pinging at the moment. They don't have a sack outlet currently, thanks to Gut going down. Could cast the Woe Strider, which we can exile with the Dispatch if we are worried. Just have to see what happens here. Impulsive Pilferer coming down with Encore. So going to make some more treasure tokens with that. Oh, the Ether Tunnel. I just assumed, I've never seen this before, I just assumed it was a pacifism effect. The enchanted creature gets +1 to power and can't be blocked, so yeah, that's actually relevant with Gut. So they can make a 4-1 menace here. Who are they going to attack in at is the question. Each one of these has to attack each one of us. And I bet the Gut swings in at us. All the Survivor tokens are swinging at us. We can block those, so that's alright. And then the Gut's going in at the right. That's really good, so glad I wasn't hasty on the Dispatch there. All these creatures are going to get Menace, though, thanks to the Frontier Warmonger, which I suppose I could have exiled that before combat, but yeah, without being able to communicate where people are going to attack, it's difficult. Yeah, anyway, some stuff getting Menace here, which could make all the difference. Alright, so I think a Survivor token was traded out. That triggers the Gut. Each opponent loses a life. And the 4-1 is coming in at us, of course. So we go through to the block phase, see what we can actually do here. Alright, so this thing is going to go down to the 4-1. Oh, this has First Strike, I missed that previously, so that's going in the way of a token. Okay, let's see here. We've got these with Menace, so we can just take 3 to those, maybe. So we could take 4 and double block on the skeleton token. Yeah, we're going to be teetering a bit further than I'd like, but yeah, we'll throw SRAM in the way. And the Goblin token we want to see the back of anyway. Yeah, so we take 4 and take down the 4-1. And that way we'll still have a red blocker in the way as well. Maybe should have thrown the Lion Sash in the way, because I'm not particularly bothered about keeping that, and it would mean that we'd have an extra red blocker. But being forced to attack with this thing isn't the best either. All depends on what the Varchild has for us next turn. Only having 2 cards in hand bodes well. Hoping that the Rakdos player doesn't have a sack outlet as well. Dropping a Viscera Seer could be detrimental to us. Alright, so we see some First Strike damage from the Goblin. And that triggers the Impulsive Pilferer to gain a treasure. The Commander also deals a damage to us. Yeah, I think we're going to have to go for the Gut here. I don't think we're going to be able to take all this damage and have the Gut see creatures die as well. Probably should have done it before now. I'm hoping that I don't lose by 1 life. Alright, so down goes the Gut. We take a damage to the Reckless Fireweaver because a treasure has entered. It's difficult to keep track of all these ping effects. But they don't have their commander in play anymore, so that's slightly less damage. So we're down to 8, thanks to the Reckless Fireweaver. So the Monarchy is taken away from us. We go down to 4. Our opponent's still got something to do here. That is, hey, Braids. Okay, so do we just have to sacrifice whatever they go for here? Hopefully they don't sacrifice an enchantment because we lose 3 life to that. Is it 3 life with Braids? Oh no, it's only 2 life. Goblin Spymaster makes another token for them. The Braids going to sacrifice something. Sacrificing an Impulsive Pilferer, so we just have to sacrifice a creature here. We can get rid of the tapped Goblin so that we don't lose life. So getting some treasure tokens to the Impulsive Pilferers, drawing a card to the Monarchy. They end at 6 cards in hand. And it's just a case of praying that we can survive the Varchild at this point. Well, there's Trample, so that probably does it to us. Yeah, that makes all the difference. Probably goes in at us, as it probably should. We do have a red creature to block the Varchild with, but like I said, if it has Trample, then it probably does us in here. Jumps up to a 7-7. I'm happy with how the game went though, because we were struggling in the early game, especially with mana, and where is it? The Sword of the Animist really got us back into it, as it tends to. But, oh, alright, that's why you don't assume that you know what's going to happen. The Varchild goes in down the middle, so could have had rid of us there. Frontier Warmonger gives some stuff Menace, so I'm not sure where the other 2 things are attacking yet. Okay, so not swinging in at us with the Varchild, but the 4-4 has Menace, which we can double block. That is finishing off the Simic player. So go through to blocks, and I'll try and keep hold of the Trampler and the Menace Enabler, because that might be relevant. Yeah, Lion Sash and the Rebel token. And that does mean that the Varchild player is tapped out with one card in hand, so could get rid of him next turn. We assume the Simic player's going down here. There's obviously likely to be some treasure tokens made here as well, so that one card in hand could be relevant. We're not out of the woods yet. Simic player goes down. Varchild hits and knocks this player down to 21. They're on 10 Varchild commander damage. And Varchild does become the Monarch again. So making 7 tokens that can't block and attack each turn if able, so... Can we get rid of the Rakdos player next turn is the question. Managed to survive a turn, 2 cards in hand over here and 7 treasure tokens made. There is a Sun Titan. Does that make a difference with the Ardenn in the bin? We could suit up the Nahiri with everything except the Commander's Plate. So that would make it 6 power, 7, 8. Yeah, 8 power. Maybe Argentum Armour just going on there would be the thing to do. Yeah, I think we have to go with Argentum Armour regardless. It's going to be a Hail Mary attempt here. And luckily the Astorr has stayed in play all this game, otherwise we won't be able to cheat these equip costs. The red player is holding up priority here, so hopefully can't blow up an artifact. Okay, so Argentum Armour enters, drop a Plains, make the land for the turn. And then this has Trample, so this could go into the right and get our opponent, hopefully. It has Shroud, so I don't see what else they would do. Astorr can go into the left if we give it Trample, which we can with this. Could also just blow up the red creature that they can block with. Definitely can't block with these, no. So yeah, we could just do that instead. Argentum Armour onto the Astorr for a single mana. And then we want to give double strike with the Ember Cleave, so just make sure that I understand this. So if we swing in with 3 creatures, that will only cost 3 mana. So yeah, I think that should work. I'm hoping that I'm not messing up here. Maybe should have put Swiftfoot Boots on something as well, but they've got Shroud and protection from colours anyway. So we have to attack him with everything. The Nahiri can go there, Jorkadeen can go to the left, as can the Astorr. Double check the attacks, they go into the left. Nahiri to the right. The Argentum Armour triggers and gets rid of the Goblin token. And then Nahiri will get some stuff as well. Draw a card with the Glimmer Lens, +X on the Jorkadeen, and I think that will draw us a card as well. Draw into Mana Confluence. That's from the Jorkadeen. Draw into Barbed Batterfist as well. And then we'll get some more card advantage with Nahiri. And get into some more equipment. That is Mask of Memory. Don't have Flash, unfortunately. Nettle Seist as well. So then it's Ember Cleave. Speaking of Flash, and that can equip itself to the Astorr. So that now has double strike. Destroy the tokens, so now they can't block, because obviously the survivors can't block. Has Menace. Goes through for 28 points of damage, I hope. And the Nahiri has double strike as well, thanks to the Lizard Blades, so that should be 12 points of damage over to the Varchild. Alright, and it looks like it's going through here. We're in the damage phase. So we take the Monarch. We get some treasure tokens from Nahiri, thanks to the Reaver Cleaver. Alright, and we managed to take our opponents down. Excellent. So, yeah, didn't get off to the best start, as you all saw, but the Sword of the Animist managed to get us back into it, and Nahiri kept us in card advantage, so doing exactly what it's meant to do. Obviously the Astorr cheating some equip costs was absolutely vital to us there as well. A really good game all round, I think. Could have gone in any player's direction, but thankfully we were the lucky ones today. I'm tribalkai. Thank you for watching.